Hey guys, so Korea just dropped a huge set of patch notes talking about some updates that are going to be coming in the future, not currently. And personally, I think that these updates are going to be coming for us in December at the same time as Korea. Well, maybe a little bit later, depending on when their patch date is versus ours, but I think that we're both getting these updates in December. But these updates are really amazing. Basically, they are making it so that arc passives are going to be activated the moment you get level 50 combat level. So everybody, regardless what tier you're in, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, you're going to have access to the arc passive system. Now, of course, in the lower tiers, you're not going to have access to as many nodes as us in tier 4, but they have made some updates to tier 4 to make it so that it's a lot more streaming and a lot better. And honestly, I think that this was their plan in the first place, but they just had to rush things out. So they're going to be giving this to us now, which I think is an amazing change. So starting with the changes to enlightenment points, or sorry, evolution points. These are the points that we get from our armors that, we've been farming egg gear for. And, when we get 1660, we can activate arc passive on certain classes, etc., right? So this is the stuff that is going to our armors. And the long story short is that basically armors from tier 2 and tier 3 are going to be giving arc passive points. And I would say that basically at Brel, when you clear Brel and get all your Brel gear, full set of Brel, you're going to have basically the same power level as before. So basically the same power level as previous tier 3. Now, it is kind of unfortunate that you get a little bit less power when you're in the relic gear, when you get the gear from Vulcan and Vicus, but in reality, not many people are sitting at that item level anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much. But when you get to Brel and get full ancient gear from Brel, you are going to have basically the same power level as your tier 3 back in the day. And then you're going to keep that power level all the way up until Kenyuart Fortress gear, so 1640 gear. And at 1640 gear, you're basically, if you have, all your horizontals done, if you're level 70, you're going to have enough points to activate arc passive as though you were 1660 currently. So there's no longer a need to get egg gear. Let's say like right now, I think most classes can activate with like 1 to 2 pieces or whatever. For us, the moment we get full Kenyuart Fortress, if you're level 70, it's basically the same as though you had 4 pieces of egg gear at 1640 when you have full Kenyuart Fortress gear. So now when you hit tier 4, your character will just feel like a tier 4 character right out the gate, which is absolutely amazing. And you can actually start making use of that relic accessories that you're farming during chaos dungeons and such right out the gate, right off the bat. And there's not this weird like tier 3.5 anymore in the game. And then of course, when you get your full air gear, you're going to be at 100 points. So, you're going to get that later on. So that's really, really amazing in my opinion. Now with enlightenment points, which are for accessories, basically all the way up until you get your ancient gears, you're going to have enough accessories to get basically the same as though you had full relics at the moment. So you can get 72 points right now, I believe, which is what we have at full relics the moment that we hit tier 3, which is kind of cool. We basically, starting from tier 3, get a power boost from our accessories as though we had the tier 4 accessories. And it is kind of unfortunate that it feels like, we're not really getting a power boost until we get ancient gear because, we're going to have the same amount of points all the way through from tier 3 all the way till relic gear. But at the same time, it is still very nice at the end of the day that we get access to all these systems earlier on. Like, it's kind of like a good thing, but it kind of feels a little bit bad if you're later on in the game. But either way, it's still a good update. So we're going to have our 72 points if we're at combat level 70, starting at tier 3. And of course, all the horizontal and stuff like that. Now for the jump tree, so this is our leap tree for the Hyper Awakening. I'm still a little bit unsure about this one, but I'm pretty sure what it is you need to be combat level 60 and higher. You need to have 1640 on that character and complete these quests to be able to start getting your Hyper Awakening and also start working on the Hyper Awakening tree on the arc passive. So very simple, very straightforward, right? Now, the updates below, these notes below, basically outline what's going to happen with like our existing gear. So tier 2, I'm not really going to go in depth because look, nobody's really in tier 2 anymore. Basically, we're getting tier 2 gear replaced, and then it's going to be able to be used with the ARC passive system. And then for tier 3, what is really, really cool is that we are also getting the equipment replaced, right? We're going to get the equipment, and it's going to get the enlightenment points just like up here. When we have our full Kenyu Art Fortress gear, we're going to have 80. You know, down here, we're going to have less. Basically, same thing as before. And then for the tier 4 gear, we're basically, again, going to get the increased points for our Kenyu Art Fortress gear. And this is, you know, for our Egg gear, it's basically saying the same. But the important part is going to be the accessories. Now, with the accessories, we're again going to skip over tier 2 because nothing really important, right? They're just going to replace the accessories, and you know, you're going to be able to use the points based on that. But tier 3 is actually quite interesting because with our Power Pass characters, we still have to go through tier 3, right? And for tier 3, for any tier 3 equipment you have in your inventory, they're basically going to replace it with, you know, the updated accessories. So kind of similar to the Arc passive relic gear that we have right now in tier 4, except taken down to tier 3. And then on top of replacing our accessories that we have in our equipment inventory, we also get the currency to roll it. So anything that we don't have equipped will be replaced with clean gear. I'm assuming it's going to be the same quality, and then they're going to give us the currency to roll that gear. But if you have any tier 3 accessories that are already equipped, then they will upgrade it and give us equipment with the following stats. So if we have legendary, it's going to give us these stats. If it's a relic, we're going to get these stats. If it has ancient, we're going to get these stats, right? And these stats are not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. Basically, they're giving us 1 DPS line and 1 support line on each of these accessories. So, you know, for rings, we get crit chance and ally attack power boost. So the hearings, we get attack power and party shield. And then for necklace, we're going to get damage to enemies and then brand power. So 1 line for DPS, 1 line to support. So if you have any tier 3 characters, be sure to equip the accessories that you have currently. Doesn't matter what, just make sure they're high quality. That way they get replaced with these kind of new accessories when this update comes. Now, when it comes to engravings, they're changing it so that we get engraving slots unlocked every now and then, basically based off of our item level. So 500 item level, we get 3 engravings unlocked. 1370, we get 4 engravings unlocked, and then 1540, we get 5 engravings unlocked, which means that starting at 1540, we basically have the same like engraving system as we do right now in tier 4. So you're going to get your whole 6x3 setup starting at 1540, which is kind of crazy. Again, power boost to characters, right? But, you know, later on, they do mention that they are going to scale some of those monster HP up. So there is that. But that is pretty cool. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure about is whether they're not, you know, whether or not they're going to keep engraving support, because engraving support right now is 5x3, and this is going to be 6x3 basically. And I'm not sure if they're going to keep it. They haven't mentioned anything about it. They haven't talked about, you know, anything with other notes. So we'll have to see. My hope is that they will keep engraving support just for tier 3, and then we'll get the free, you know, 5 engraving slots. We can select whichever one here for our new characters, because it would suck for anybody who's new into the game and not have the engraving support because they don't have the books to back it up. Now, they also mentioned that with this, the class engravings are completely gone, right? Because we only really kept the class engravings because tier 3 still existed. So now we're going to be able to exchange our class engravings for tokens. So we can dismantle the class engraving books that we have for tokens, and any existing class engraving books that we've already eaten, we can use, they'll give us the tokens back for it. So how it works is the legendary ones will receive 20 tokens when you break it down. And then for the epic ones, we'll get 1 token when we break it down. Now, these are the things that you can get off of these tokens. So with 20 tokens, basically 1 legendary engraving book, you can get a legendary engraving book selector. So basically you're exchanging your class book for a regular combat engraving book. And then same with this, you can spend 1 token for the purple engraving book selectors, you can spend 10 for these auxiliary retraining selection boxes, which I believe these are the honing materials, so like the lava's breaths and such. And then we have the fusion fragments, which are the, I think they are the shards. And then we have the Destiny Destruction Stone pouches, which are, of course, Destruction Stones. And then we have Guardian Stones. And then we have this, which is, I believe, Leap Stones. And then you can get silvers with anything you have remaining, because some of us might have more than, however many tokens it takes to buy out all of these, right? Because they do have a purchase limit. But after that purchase limit, after you purchase everything from the shop, then you can just purchase silvers using this. Not a great exchange rate, to be honest, but, whatever, right? It's stuff that we're getting for free, technically. So there it is. And then we're getting changes to ability stones as well, which I believe is just basically all our ability stones are going to be like the tier 4 variants, where it's not going to give us engravings, but it's going to give us level boosts to our engravings. So any old tier 3 stones that we're going to have are going to be automatically just transitioned into tier 4, whereas now you have to press like the little arc passive button to change it, right? So that's going to be the big change there. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to get some health changes to monsters to accommodate for the higher damage that we're going to be doing. And then also, they're going to be getting rid of platinum fields. So right now, we can still use our platinum field tickets, even though we can't find any. But after this update, whenever we get it, we can no longer use platinum field tickets anymore, and we'll be able to exchange them for these boxes down here. Now, from what I can tell, the value of these boxes are probably going to be lower than actually running the platinum fields ourselves. So again, if you want to min-max it, run them now. If not, you can just wait until this update happens and exchange your platinum field tickets for these boxes. But that about wraps it up. Honestly, I think that they are doing a pretty dang good job of transitioning us into this new system. And I'm very happy that they're changing the system to make it so that it finally makes sense. I always thought that they were going to do this, and back then I was kind of like copium, they're going to do this, but actually they did end up doing this and making everybody just into an arc passive character starting from the beginning. So I'm very happy about that, and I think this is a huge W update. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and if you want to continue to support the channel, I would really appreciate it if you can sub to the channel. It's the best way to support the channel without spending a single dollar. And also twitch.tv/MisoXShiro. I stream there every single day, starting at 10 p.m. PST. So I'd love to see you guys there. But if not, hopefully I see y'all on the next video. All right, guys. Peace.